להחדשו נשמה תקווה וכבוד קורע מלמעלה יעננו לכל תגרה ושמות.
One of the battles that we face is the fact that the perception is that we're really different. That we're looking at two different religions or two different peoples, and I don't think that's reality. What do you see there?
Okay. Well, first of all, we have to remember historically, our one people split into two nations. Those two nations have evolved, morphed, however you want to describe it, into two religions with countless denominations all around.
Mm-hmm.
However, that can easily distract people. What's far more important is what we have in common rather than what could potentially divide us.
What do we have in common?
The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Okay.
The Torah of Israel. The land of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that we are His people and have been put on this earth for His mission, to do His will. But over time, people have gotten distracted with things. It's like the discussion that we often have regarding the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably a great thing to mention at this time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you just wrote an article the other day. Instead of me summarizing it, why don't you describe what you said in terms of, the Jewish view, the view coming from Christianity, and it'll give people who are watching this a chance to realize how much we truly have in common as opposed to what could potentially divide us.
When it comes to the Messiah, we truly seem to be looking for the same series of events to take place. You correct me if I'm wrong, but if I was to ask you, what are you expecting when Messiah comes? I believe that your answer would probably be that you are expecting the exiles to be called out of the nations that they're currently in,
right.
That a kingdom of which he would be king would be set up, that there would be a time of peace.
World peace, yeah.
World peace, where the nations are subservient to him. Perhaps Israel is taking the Torah to the nations at that time.
Yeah, and certainly dwells in security.
Dwells in security. If that's what you believe,
yeah.
that's what I believe. That's what I'm waiting to happen to see come to pass. And so what I come to at that point is it almost seems like there's one word that really separates us here.
Yeah.
And that's the word again. Because, I believe that Yeshua's been here before. And I believe he's coming again. And you don't believe he's been here before. So the again is the real dividing point there.
But the true irony of all this is we're waiting for the same Messiah. Whether he's been here before, whether he hasn't been here before, whatever his name is, he'll let us know.
Right.
But ironically, the one issue that everyone has thought is absolutely intractable, it cannot change, it will separate us forever, really isn't an issue. Really isn't an issue. Unless someone has a particular psychological obsession with having their particular belief, shouted out to the world.
Right.
Why don't we all act in a way that's appropriate, that will bring the final messianic redemption, and then we can all get to find out the identity of the Messiah?
Because the culture we now live in has folks that are on my side of the aisle insisting that you basically conform to my beliefs. And there are now some rabbis and some other Jewish folks who could accept the fact that perhaps I'm part of Ephraim, but want to say, okay, enough with the Yeshua nonsense, just come and join Judaism.
So, what we have is the classic theological spitting contest, glaring at each other across the divide, saying, I will certainly accept you as my brother or sister when you become me.
Right.
And we go back to the story of Yosef. When Yosef becomes Judah, he ceases being Joseph.
Right.
When Judah becomes Joseph, he ceases being Judah. We've been put on this earth in our particular paths for a reason.
Right.
We may not fully understand the reason, but indeed there's a reason. But God has promised that He would reunite and restore all of His people.
God made you Jewish. God put me in the nations.
Yeah.
Okay, He's the one who did those two things, and ultimately He's going to bring us together. Whether we can comprehend that, whether our doctrines can reconcile that, that is a fact, that is a reality that is going to happen.
It's going to happen because He did not make promises that He won't keep. And, ultimately it comes down to either we believe in a God who delivers upon His promises, or one that doesn't.
Right.
And neither of us are willing to accept that God made promises that He's just not going to keep for whatever reason.
Right.
Not going to happen.
Tale leha